Alright, so I am back, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Planet X Neptune figure, their Sludge. Quick look at the packaging again. We get a nice picture of the chest. I don't get it. I mean, of all things to showcase on the figure, the chest isn't, I wouldn't call it the best feature. But anyway, so we get a look at the packaging. There's a side view there. Side view there. There's the top. Bottom. And then we get this nice kind of artworky picture of him on the back. That's really all there is. So the figure itself. Here we go. So yeah, he's a big boy, as you can see. He's very thick in the upper body, very small waist. Not the biggest fan of that. And he's got a really small head and a kind of I'll just zoom in so you can see the head sculpt here. Yeah, it kind of looks a little goofy in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of the look of the head. I mean, and the proportion of the head to the body. It makes him look like he's really got a small head, and it's worse in person than it is on camera. That, from what I've seen right here in my little screen. In person, he definitely does have a bit of a pinhead going on, and it's just a weird head sculpt. I'm not a huge fan of it. But unlike Summonus, he doesn't really have any. He's got one slight quality control issue, or / design issue, and we'll get into that when we get there. But for the most part, he's a pretty solid figure. I really like the proportions of the body, aside from the waist and the head. And he looks nice. He fits in with the rest of their aesthetics that they're building very well, and we'll show all that off later. So for accessories, he does come with these ginormous hammers. I do wish he came with swords as opposed to hammers, but I do have plenty of swords laying around. I can take Summonus's extra sword, plug it in his hand. That works pretty well. I'm not sure if this was in the game or not, because I never really played the game. But he does have these big hammers. They're nice. You get 2 of them. So, setting those off to the side. He also does come with these big guns. They do look really nice, almost like shotguns or maybe flamethrower or something. Pretty good. And then like Summonus and what's his name, Thunderous. It's weird because he comes with 2 identical guns. They're not asymmetrical. I really wish that they would have flipped the design on this so that it would mirror it as opposed to just being identical. But that's just a personal aesthetic thing, I guess. They look nice. They're cool. And chances are I'm only going to have them ever posed with 1 gun and 1 hammer. I'm not going to be utilizing both guns. I like that they come with 2, but it's one of those. It would have been just as fine if they came with 1 of each. All right. So figure itself, posability of the head is on a ball joint, so it does get a little bit of rocker side to side, a little up and down, goes all the way around. It's pretty good. Shoulders up and down, and they do go in and out. It's a little limited. Now, due to the swivel, you can get the shoulder down a little bit more, and that really accents the pinhead, I think, even more. So I don't like that. But that's more for Dino mode, really. So they go out a little bit. I would say probably about as much as you really need. There's a bicep swivel that doesn't make a horrible screeching noise like Summonus, which is nice. elbows bend, hand rotates, and then the fingers do open and close. So that's pretty nice. Waist swivels. Hips are cut at a weird angle, so I mean they rotate up and down, no problem. It's just weird to have them at that kind of cut. But as long as you kind of like rotate the leg out as you go, you can get the posability just fine for the most part. Until you get up to here, then it's weird. But I don't know why you'd have it all the way up there. Thigh swivel bends at the knee, and the foot does have just the tiniest bit of pivot there. He is a little back heavy. You can kind of angle these feet out to kind of accent, to make up for that. So he's got optional heels support. That does help quite a bit. It just doesn't look as neat and clean. But it doesn't look terrible either. He's just got little feet growing out the back. He's one of those sideshow people. And then these things kind of fold in and out, however you want them to look. But yeah, like I said, I think the figure itself is pretty solid. I do like it. I do wish he had a little bit of a bigger head, especially with the bulk of his arms. He just looks like a disproportionate bodybuilder. And I do like how everything folds up in the back the way it does. None of the other sludges do that. It's usually just the heads hang down off the back. Thunderous being the worst of that. So, let's get him transformed. So what you want to do is just push these hands in. Like so. And then we want to pull this tail out here, like so. Just kind of get that out of the way. Pull these little back pieces out. Pull the head out. And then we want to, let's see here. This part is a little weird, but you take this whole side here and it unpegs. It's hard to show off, but there's two slots there, top one and bottom one. And for robot mode, it's in the top slot. For the bottom mode is dyno mode. So you just want to unpeg it, slide it down, and then peg it back in. Just like so. Pretty simple. And this is actually how he came in box, with these folded down, and that just really makes him look like he's got a really tiny head, and I do not like that. And when I first opened it, I was like, wow, this figure looks horrible. Once you fold those up, it's like, oh, okay, that's a little bit better, but not by that much. But this is terrible. Alright. So we fold these down like so, and then you can fold the legs down a little bit on that double hinge that's got in there. Just like so. Take this piece here, folds back, and then you can come in here and you just fold out the tip of the tail. And these will tab together like so. Just like so. And these panels will close up like that. And now we've got the back end done. Then you would take the dyno leg, and this folds out, and then you rotate the leg up like so, and there's a tab or a port at the bottom of the foot that'll plug into this hole right there. So you just kind of fold it up. Oh, almost forgot. This piece here comes out, folds over like that. And it does suffer from a little clearance issues going on here. It's just really tight to get it in there. once you get it lined up, you just plug it in and you're good to go. Do the same thing over here. Fold that out. This will fold up. Rotate the knee, and what you're doing is you're rotating the bottom joint because he's double jointed at the knee. So you want to rotate the bottom one up and over. And that will tab in. That will tab in. And then it already did it, but those two little panels that you moved in, they actually are designed to peg together like that. And then you take this bottom chest piece here, and this will fold out, rotates around, and then comes up like so. And then this piece comes down, and this is where I have the slight maybe QC issue or design flaw, but so this comes down like this. And it fits pretty well. And then this is supposed to come down, and this little tab right here is supposed to plug into this hole right there. So you fold that down and you line them up, and they don't quite make it. You can get it plugged in, but it does not hold worth a damn at all. So it doesn't work as well as I think they thought it would work, but it works well enough. Rotate the feet forward, and there you have them in dyno mode. And as you can see, the legs are a little weird, so if you take them and you put them back into R mode, it works better. And you just kind of fold these things up, and there you go. So here he is in dyno mode, and he's got the really big body, thick legs, nice tail. I like this mode a lot. I think this is where he shines more than his robot mode by far. I like the robot mode, but this I think works a little bit better. His neck and head is a little bit small in proportion to the body, but I'm okay with it. It looks good enough. Posability, nothing really at the tail. It just kind of sits there. The back leg will rotate, and it does go in and out like it's supposed to. Thigh swivel, bends at the knee. Nothing at the foot. Front leg is on a ball joint, and it's also on a hinge, so it can kind of go in and out, up and down. Bicep swivel, and the toes do pivot a little bit. The neck has one hinge right here, and then it does swivel side to side there, and then the head does, the mouth does open. And I do like the way he looks. I really do. I just, yeah. If you're into the kind of the false Cybertron aesthetics, that is. I'm not that big on it, but I think, there is a fan base for it, so there is a purpose for this figure. It's not like, it's not just like new design for no reason. Anyway, but yeah, he looks good. I like him. And then for the weapon storage, you can take the guns here. He's got 3 different 5mm ports, 2 on this leg, 1 there, and you can just take them and like plug them into his foot or there. Pretty much wherever you want to on that. I kind of wish the guns would actually have a way to fit in. He's got some pretty big hollow legs. And the tail's pretty hollow. So there really should, there could have been an opportunity to store the gun away. But I'm not going to fault it for that too much. What I will fault it on is the hammer here. I wish there was like a fold-out tab that you can plug it in there and make it like kind of big cannons or something. But there's not. So the only thing you can do in dyno mode is plug it in like that and that just looks stupid. Just absolutely no excuse. That's stupid. I mean, like with Summonus's swords, you got the little ports on the side so you could plug it in, and that I mean, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look stupid. That looks stupid. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, that's it for Dino mode. And I realized this late last night, sound asleep, and all of a sudden I woke up in a cold sweat. Like, I haven't been showing off the Dino modes with the other dinosaurs. So I'm actually, later this week, I'm actually going to do a video of all the Dinobots that I have in Dino mode together. Both first teams, like, all the Planet X guys, and then I'm going to show them all in one big video. So I'll get there. I'm sorry, I forgot. I know that's important to some people, so I've always been more of a Dinobots robot mode kind of guy. So we'll get there. I'm sorry, we'll get there. Anyway, so you take the head, fold this back. This will fold up like that. Unpeg the feet. Straighten them out. Unpeg the feet. Take the chest here. This will rotate up. Switch around. And tabs in. These little panels here will fold down. There's no locker, so they just kind of rotate as far as you want them to go. We'll take the legs here, fold them back, and even though I'm not a huge fan of that look, it does help with the heel spur. Like so. Pull out the hands. It's easier if you pull the fingers out, and then you just kind of slide them down. Do the same thing over here. So just kind of come in through the back here, pull out the fingers, and use them to pull the hand down. Split this section here in the back. Take the tail, this comes back, unpeg it, rotates out, then you fold the tip in. Head will fold up, like so. And there's no real tabs for it up here. Before we get there, take the side piece here, untab it, fold it up, and tab it back in. Such a subtle movement, but it does make a huge difference. Fold these in. There's little notches here. They'll kind of slot in there, but it doesn't like actually tab in, so it just kind of sits there. Then you take the tail. You can either leave them like that, which looks fine. I like to fold them up like this. So yeah, he's got a little bit more backpack, but it's more one piece kind of backpack rather than almost like wings. Give him one gun. We'll give him one hammer. There we go. And there you go. And yeah, like I said, I do like him, more I play with him. When he first came out of the package, like I said, that head looked ridiculous. I didn't like it that much. So let's go with some scale comparisons, and then we'll get the fall Cybertron and get dinos out here. Here he is with the Megatron. So this is a scale that works pretty well, especially since they both have the fall Cybertron aesthetics, and they are supposed to be bigger than the regular guys. Here he is with Rodimus. And I think that this works pretty well. There he is with Starscream. Again, I think it works pretty well. These guys are scaled pretty nicely for classics. You got MP Car here, and this does not work, as you can tell. just because of the fact that he should be bigger than Prime, and MP cars are pretty small compared to MP Prime. So the Grimlock is close to MP Prime height. So Dinobots are supposed to be bigger than Prime, so you can just imagine that, you know, Prime is about right up to here. This guy's not in MP scale, but they're not going for MP scale, so that's fine. That's fine. And here he is with the Brainstorm, which is about the size of the Eye Gear Seekers, and you can see he's a little shorter than him. So the scale kind of works, but not perfect. So, and let's get him with his teammates. Here's with the Fall of Cybertron Grimlock. A lot of people like having their Sludge bigger than Grimlock, so if you're one of those people, this would work pretty well. Here they are with the Swoop. And I still say I think the Swoop needs to be bigger. I think they really downsized him too much. I think he really should be... you know, Swoop was always about the same size as the rest of the Dinobots in robot mode in the cartoon. So he was a little bit shorter, but not significantly like this. And here is Summonus. So yeah, I think these guys look great together. The reds are all about the same red. These guys, you know, he's a little bit shorter than Grimlock, and he's a little bit shorter than the Sludge. So yeah, I think they look really good together. And yeah, and they're doing Slag next, so hopefully we'll be able to see him soon. And then they are going to be doing a Grimlock. So, but you know, if you're just getting Slag and you're happy with your Fall Cybertron Grimlock, then you're there. We're there. We're almost there. Just one more figure. And some people have been using the Fans Project Slag as a stand-in. And so let me get him in here too. And I think his aesthetics are way too different to really work with this crew. He looks good with Columbio, with the Neo design, but he doesn't look as good with the Fall of Cybertron design because it's this Fall of Cybertron. I don't like it that much. It can work to an extent, I think, but I mean, I'd just wait. I'd just wait a few more months. We'll get him. So anyway, getting him out of the way because he doesn't belong here. Anyway, I do really like him. I wish the Dino head was a little bit bigger. I'll forgive the guns just because, you know, whatever. This needs to have a storage place for robot or Dino mode. It needs it. It's not one of those like, oh well, you know, it's okay, it doesn't have it. No, it needs it. Because everybody else does. So why not him? And I do think his head is a little bit small for his body, both his robot head and Dino head. But he does have the necessary heel spurs, although it does break it up. I don't even know if this is official, how you're supposed to have it. I think they're supposed to be tucked in, but it looks good like that. And I think he does clean up pretty well. You know, yeah, he's got the backpack, but I think he does clean up pretty well. So all in all, I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. I think he's a lot more solid than Summonus. I think they tried a little too much on Summonus to make him look cool, and it suffered because of that hollow or that clear plastic. Whereas this guy, he feels a lot more solid. I just wish they would have done a few other things with the design elements. Like this piece, I would have liked when the chest piece folds up under the Dino mode, I would have liked it to lock into the leg modes, like his does, as opposed to relying on that little port to plug into the neck. I think this should have locked in there, and then this, the head, like maybe right down here, could have locked in on the knees or something. You know, just put like a little tab right there, or slot. Slot probably would have been better, and have it tab in rather than trying to tab this to here. You can have it this tab into the knees, and then this tab into the back of the legs, and then you'd have it real nice and solid. Not that it really isn't that solid. I just think they could have done a little bit better with that design. And there's why. Yeah, I always try and I don't just say I don't like this. I try, I try to give them some corrective criticism. I think, not that they'll ever watch this video, but if they do, that's what I think. They could have done a little bit better of a job with him, but he's still pretty good. I still say their swoop is probably their best one. I just wish he was a little bit bigger. And Grimlock has all sorts of problems, but that's because it's a different company and it's an inferior toy in comparison to all three of them. And yeah. So yeah, there you go. Oh, and I also wish that they would do chrome versions of all these guys, where there's that nice gold chrome for the gold parts. Because I've got a gold chrome Grimlock that I like to use. I like so much better than this one. But I can't use them because this gold fits better with this gold, and if I put the shiny one in there, it really stands out, and I don't like it. So yeah, there you go.